Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a powerful idea from the book, The Resonant Self. What if personal growth isn't about fixing what's broken in you, but about learning to tune your soul like a beautiful instrument?
You know, for so long, we've been sold this idea of the spiritual journey as a ladder, a constant, exhausting climb towards some future perfection. But what if that's the wrong map entirely? What if the goal isn't to escape who you are, but to bring every single part of yourself into perfect, beautiful harmony?
All right, so let's actually put these two maps side by side, because once you see the difference between the old way of striving and this new model of tuning, well, it can completely change the relationship you have with yourself.
I mean, just look at the contrast here. The old model on the left, that's all about a linear fight, right? Escaping the lower parts of yourself, always pushing for some goal off in the distance. But the new model on the right, that's about integration. It's about harmonizing your entire self, and it all happens in the present moment. This reframes the whole journey. It's not a battle anymore. It's the beautiful art of tuning a sacred instrument.
Okay, so if you're an instrument, how are you actually built? What are your fundamental parts? Well, according to ancient yogic philosophy, your entire existence is a play between two core principles.
First up, you've got something called Purusha. The best way to get this is to think of a movie screen. The screen itself doesn't get wet when it's raining in the movie, right? It doesn't get burned by a fire on screen. It's just the silent, unchanging witness to the whole show. That's the real you at your very core.
And then there's Prakriti. And that's, well, it's everything else. It's the movie itself, your body, your thoughts, your emotions, the whole universe of experience. It's dynamic, it's colorful, and it is always changing.
And right here, this is the source of almost all of our inner noise and suffering. It's a simple case of mistaken identity. The screen forgets it's the screen. It gets so lost in the movie playing on it that it starts to believe it is the hero, feeling every punch, every joy, every heartbreak as if it's really happening to it. That's where all the chaos starts.
So how does this mistaken identity actually create chaos in our day-to-day lives? Well, there's a brilliant ancient allegory of a runaway chariot that just nails it. It gives us a startlingly accurate diagnosis of our inner world. In our typical everyday state, our inner chain of command is completely upside down. First, the horses. Those are your senses. They just bolt after whatever desire pops up. The reins, that's your mind, just get yanked along for the ride, getting all agitated. Then the driver, your intellect, who should be in charge, it just makes up excuses to justify the wild chase. And the passenger, your soul, your true self, it's just a helpless passenger being dragged along on this crazy, chaotic ride. So the solution isn't to get rid of the driver, your intellect or your ego. Not at all. The solution is to restore the proper order. The driver needs to stop taking orders from the wild horses of the senses and instead turn inward to take guidance from that wise, silent passenger in the back, your true self.
All right, so we've diagnosed the chaos of the runaway chariot. Now for the solution. How do we actually start tuning the instrument? The toolkit really comes down to understanding two things: the qualities of the music you're playing and the individual notes of your instrument.
Every single moment of your experience is a mix of these three qualities, called gunas. You've got tamas, that's that heavy, stuck, I can't get off the couch feeling. Then there's rajas, the restless, fiery energy of action and constant craving. And then there's sattvata, which is the goal, that state of balance, harmony, and clarity. The whole spiritual path is really about consciously moving out of the noise of tamas and rajas and toward the beautiful clarity of sattvata.
And now for the actual notes. These are the 7 chakras. And it's so important to see them not as a ladder you climb and then leave behind, but as the permanent, fundamental notes of your instrument. They range from the deep, grounding bass note of survival and safety at the root, all the way up to that high, transcendent note of divine connection at the crown. Every single one needs to be in tune.
So just take a second and ask yourself, what note is playing the loudest in your life right now? Is it the drive for power? Is it the feeling of fear? Or maybe the call for connection? Just by identifying the dominant frequency, you can begin the conscious process of tuning your instrument.
Okay, so what's the payoff for all this tuning? What does a harmonized self actually feel like? Well, the result isn't some abstract, far-off perfection. It's a profound and very real shift in how you experience your life right here and now.
So here's what's happening on an energetic level. When your instrument is tuned, consciousness and energy, Purusha and Prakriti, they finally meet and resonate with each other. They create this stable, powerful, and blissful standing wave of awareness right down your center. This is the signature of the awakened self, a state of profound inner peace and vibrant clarity.
And that's really the ultimate point. The goal isn't to get rid of the notes of our being, our ambition, our love, our need for security. The goal is to get them all to vibrate together in perfect, harmonious resonance. A beautiful song.
You see, this symphony isn't a destination you have to struggle to reach. It's a potential that can only be unlocked in one place, this present moment. It's all about learning to play the magnificent music you were always meant to be. The only question left is, are you ready to start listening?